Alright, y'all, story time. So I want to tell you about this one time when I was about maybe 14 years old, right? And it was me and my mom, and we decided we were going through what I'm going through right now, right? A little bit worse though. And matter of fact, you know what? Let me hop off and find myself somewhere quiet to tell you guys the story. Okay, guys, so I was like, you know what, let me hop off this train. It's Sunday. I ain't tripping. Where I am right now, ooh, they have a really cute market that's open today. Yes, matter of fact, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling, but I'm moving in the same direction that I'm trying to go in. But I'm like, hold on. Let me go over here real quick and chill for a second and see what's going on. Anyway, so let me tell you guys about this story, right? I was about 14 years old. It was just me and my mother. We were going through pretty much what I'm going through right now, but it was a little bit worse, right? And I was in school. I was in middle school at the time, and it was a cute little Victorian house that my mother, we got a room in the Victorian house. It was big. I think it was something like maybe like a 4 or 5 bedroom home or something like that. It was so cute. Shout out to Pinole. I love Pinole. I went to elementary school and middle school in Pinole. So we were out there for maybe about, I don't know, like maybe 3 years when I was younger, something like that, you know? And the quaintest little town, I swear, I love it to this day. I love it to this day. But anyway, so I decided, hi, oh, look at the baby. So cute. Anyway, so anyway, you know, as we had fallen on hard times because we had to leave our place. There was a lot going on. A lot of the shit that I'm going through right now or have gone through over the last couple of years, right? And so my mom's looking for employment and this and that. So we end up renting this room in this young lady's house, and she had inherited her home from, I think it was her granddad or father or something like that, you know. Really sweet girl. She was probably in like maybe her mid to late 20s or something like that, you know. And, you know, of course, she wanted to keep the house payments up. So, you know, she rented all the rooms out, and it was just her. She didn't have any children or anything, right? So I was the only kid in the house, basically. So the people who were like being sent to harass me, they call them flying monkeys, right? The people who were being sent to harass me, my mother ended up going through that when I was a teenager. So I would get up, go to school, you know, everything was fine. I would get up, go to school every day. Every time it was time for us to do something on the weekends, like I was there. I was a really good kid. Like my mom didn't really have too many problems with me. I wasn't a problematic kid at all. Like I listened to my mom. I did what I was supposed to do. I love school, love reading, the whole nine, but that's not what we're talking about. Let's get back into it, right? So somehow someone had sent one of the flying monkeys to come and rent one of the rooms in the house, right? And so I had noticed a change in my mother's energy. And all of a sudden it was kind of like, you know, she went from being like this peaceful, serene woman to like, now she's like on guard because this person is obviously showing signs of being an agent, right? So, you know, some time goes by. I'd say like, I think we were in the house for maybe about a couple months or something like that, right? And we come home one day, and, you know, my mom's already working. She had gotten her little, you know, spot and everything. We had gotten the job, but, you know, the room that we had was considered our spot, right? And it was perfect location because it was within a certain distance of my school, and I had already been going to that school anyway, so that's why she wanted to stay in that area, right? Ciao. We came back, and this lady had went into our room and saturated our room with urine to the point where we couldn't even like sleep in our bed it was like, and it was clear that that's what they had done. So the attacks were a lot more, they were a lot more like, disgusting, back then. Yesterday, I experienced one of those extreme attacks, but it was indirect. I was working on my social content audit, right? And one of the people that was behind me, he was trying to create a distraction for me so that I would, kind of slow down my progress or whatever the case, right? And so what he decides to do was he passed gas and he forced it out. It was just like he just passed gas for like the longest and the loudest shit ever. And when I tell you, my initial reaction was, you too fucking old for that shit. That's number one. But you too old for that. And you need to, at least go to the restroom or whatever the case, right? So, but then my second reaction was like, ew, really? Like, that's your assignment for the day? And I just laughed because I was like, why would you, that's the type of shit they have you doing? Like, that's how I talk to them. I'll be like, that's your assignment? They must be paying you well, So, like, in the library of all places, you guys. So imagine how quiet a library is. And he needed attention that fucking bad that he did that. And I said to myself, well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that they have put some stuff in my car to where they can listen. They probably hearing me pass gas throughout the night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a mirrored effect. And I feel like it's so unfortunate because when you do these things to people, it doesn't make a difference. Like, it doesn't motivate a person. It doesn't discourage a person. It just makes your job look ridiculous. You get me? So that's what I'm looking at. And I'm like, oh God, that's terrible. It didn't stop nothing though, you guys. It didn't stop a damn thing. I promise you it didn't. Honey, I was just like, okay, let me go ahead and continue doing what I'm doing, and I think we were able to, I was able to establish maybe collectively, I think I'm at like maybe 75 files already, but it's 75 out of like 300 plus, so I'm like, Lord, I'm just now kind of like, grazing the surface with that project. And then after that, I have to go back through all of the stuff and I have to listen by ear and compare it to my notes, or not my notes, but what AI has generated in the transcripts. And then I have to go in and make sure that the edits are done properly so that I can, write them in, and then also go into my own personal files and change and make the changements. Make the changements. Make the changements. Make the changes. Maybe I meant improvements. Maybe the revisions. There we go. Anyway, y'all. So I remember that, and I remember that lady's reaction, and like it was just pure hatred. And it was done in such a subtle way to where it was like my mother knew that it was her, but it was like she did it in a way where it was like, how can you prove it, right? And so it was really fucked up, so we had to like clean everything, take everything off the bed. It was like, why would you do something like that? I don't know. My mom probably at some point made sure that she got her payback, because that's my mom and she's a Gemini and that's how they are, but at that point, I think that's when I realized too that it was like, why are these people doing this to us? And that's probably one of the stories that would have been in my book, but I decided not to put it in there because it's disgusting, you guys, you know? Like, who wants to recapture that thought, you know? But I had to give you guys a story time so y'all understand exactly, like, some of the shit that we go through as targeted individuals. It's fucked up. And like I said, you know, people do some of the strangest things, you know, but they do it to distract you, to throw you off. You know, they do it for a number of reasons, but mainly is to try to cause, you know, mental anguish of some sort, try to play with your anxiety, try to play with your nerves, try to have you on edge and paranoid everywhere. Now we're in the era of, you know, technology. So we got these cell phones every fucking where. Everybody's a camera person. Everybody's a journalist. Everybody's a, everybody's on social media, you know, in some capacity, you know, and, so now it's like people can poke at you. And then, you know, when you finally go off, everybody's got their phones out like, we got her, you know, or hacking into your phone. And, you know, with my situation, it's kind of like hacking into my phone and manipulating my data, my storage, what's available, you know. So even when I was recording that situation that happened last night, they strategically made sure that my camera started at a certain time and stopped at a certain time so that it could capture only that little clip. I was recording for a long time before that happened, but they did it to protect him because they sent him. Whenever they send people to you, they protect them, you know? And that's the fucked up thing about it, you know? But it's okay. I guess everybody needs a job, you know?